Karthik has got another big exclusive for you all this week. So let's talk to him. Yeah, Karthik, you're heading out.
Yeah, I mean, it's I think SUV fever is really raging hard and it's just going on and on. This time, of course, we're looking not at the budget end, we're looking at slightly premium SUVs in that sense, the 20 lakh plus range. And this is not truly in the SUV category, this is soft-roaders. And this is the one that kick-started it all in a big way, the Chevrolet Captiva with its 7 seats and diesel engine. Well, we got the facelift on our hands recently and a quick first drive told us quite a bit about it.
So Karthik, let's just show them your test drive.
So here it is, Chevrolet's facelifted Captiva. It's got changes under the skin and on it. Clearly, the Captiva looks angry. The headlights have been made more aggressive, the grille is massive, and like other Chevys, it's split in 2 parts and it drops down into the bumper. As a result, the bumper is all new and has separate sections for the fog lamps. Compared to the earlier Captiva, this one really looks like a bully. From there on, the changes are minimal. At the sides, the mock air vents have been reshaped, which now flow smoothly into the character line. The rear is pretty much the same. Overall, there have been no major sheet metal changes, which means you won't mistake the Captiva for anything else. Now, the Captiva just doesn't have changes on the surface. There have been some tweaks on the inside as well. On the inside, the changes aren't immediately apparent. In terms of design, the dashboard is nearly the same. But the air vents on the center console are slimmer and sleeker, the side vents are more stylish too. The mock carbon fiber band runs all across the dashboard, although it does look a bit cheesy. There is the familiar digital display on top. It has a built-in compass and displays the settings for air conditioning as well. The instrument cluster for the driver is new too, and it is simpler and much easier to read. The Captiva is now equipped with an electronic parking brake, and that's liberated more space for bottles and cups. There is a lot of storage for knickknacks in the cabin. When it comes to equipments, the Captiva is pretty well loaded. It gets 8-way powered driver's seat, heated and powered folding mirrors, automatic climate control, rear parking sensors, tilt and telescopic steering, and steering mounted controls. It also has a sunroof. With the facelift, the Captiva also boasts of cruise control and rain sensing wipers. Now, although there have been refinements in design and in materials, the quality of plastics inside the Captiva do vary a fair bit. Like the plastic around the cup holders feels quite plain and cheap. The stocks feel a bit clunky, but some bits are just awesome, like the satin finish for the door handles. So there is a change on the inside. The Captiva feels a bit more stylish, the change to the materials makes it feel a bit more solid, and the equipment list is stronger and better. But I can't help but ask for more. Like the materials feel a bit inconsistent, the plastic somewhere really very basic and in some places very nice. The equipment list for the most part is good, but I can't help but ask for more, like a reverse parking camera, especially considering that this car at the end of the day costs well over 20 lakh rupees. But when it comes to space, the Captiva is still good. The front seats have great under-thigh support. The middle row has ample knee room and headroom. Under-thigh support is good, although it could be a little bit better. Although amazingly, there are no air conditioning vents for the middle row. Meanwhile, the third row is easy to set up. Just a quick pull and the seats are set up. But the space there is the same as before, which is best left for kids. But now the third row even gets air conditioning vents. Strangely, the 2 vents are on the same side. But then it was time to hop into the most coveted seat, the driver's seat. There I got to sample the reason for the Captiva's new angry look. Instead of the 2-liter motor, this facelifted Captiva is now powered by a 2.2-liter engine that develops a heck of a lot more power. This twin-cam 16-valve diesel engine develops a solid 184 bhp. That's 36 bhp more than before. And it develops 43.2 kilograms of torque, which is a whole load more than the 32.6 kilograms offered earlier. Like we saw on the upgraded Cruise a little while back, the Captiva's engine too is very refined. It's really quiet. Even when you rev it hard, it remains nice and subdued, and it is quite smooth. The power is then channelized through a new 6-speed automatic transmission and an all-wheel drive system to the 4 wheels. So, how does it drive? At low speeds in the city, I could have done with a bit more punch on tap. That would have helped the Captiva deal with the stop-go conditions just that little bit better. But once you cross the 2000 RPM mark, you really have a lot of performance on tap. This car really feels very strong from its mid-range on, revs nicely, so you can really build a lot of speed and carry it quite effortlessly. Now the 6-speed automatic gearbox isn't very quick when it comes to shifts, but it is smooth. But if you want more control on the shifts, you can always put it in manual mode. When you do that, it sticks to a gear and it won't shift up even when you hit the red line. And even when you're normally trundling around, it tries to avoid changing down as well. So, well, it gives you a lot more control on your gears. The Captiva now also features a new mode called the Eco mode. Now the Captiva also comes with this Eco mode. When you trigger it, what it does is it softens power delivery, it cuts down revs. That basically makes the drive that bit smoother and of course more economical. When it comes to dynamics, Chevrolet has tweaked the chassis for a better experience, whether it's on rough roads or over winding roads. The hardware though remains the same. In India, the Captiva rides on 235 by 65 R17 tires. At the front, these are suspended by McPherson struts, while at the rear, there is a multi-link setup. Now, even though the Captiva's suspension setup is better than before, at low speeds in the city, if you hit a rough section of road, you'll find there's that stiffness to it. But the benefit of that is once speeds rise, the Captiva still feels quite composed. Body control is really quite nice, even over rough sections, and it just absorbs bigger bumps quite well. The on-demand all-wheel drive system helps to clean up this big soft roader's behavior around corners. The all-wheel drive system does a great job of keeping the Captiva poised even around corners. You can feel the torque being transferred from the front axle to the rear axle, but it happens very smoothly, so it doesn't interfere with the driving experience. Around corners, you do get some body roll, but that's not the biggest fly in the ointment for the Captiva. It's the steering wheel. It's very vague at dead ahead, turn in, you can't really sense what's happening, and it feels quite slow, so it really doesn't inspire confidence. While the facelifted Captiva isn't a drastically different machine, it's hard to ignore the feeling that now that it's here, it means business. Now the facelifted Captiva certainly seems very impressive, and I'm not just talking about the looks. Its new 2.2-litre motor is smooth yet punchy, its ride quality is better, dynamics are better. Sure, it's not a sporty SUV and it doesn't ride like a brilliant car, but overall it is a more satisfying vehicle to be in. On the inside you get as much space as before, but build quality and plastics have improved. Yes, still doesn't feel like a 20+ lakh rupee car in that department, but overall this is a much better, much more rounded package, and at the price that it's coming at, it's really a killer deal.
So, well, Karthik really summed that up nicely, but Karthik, you've also spoken about this being killer value. Now, there's lots happening in this segment. There's the Santa Fe, there's the X-Trail. We even have new entrants like X1, we have the Q3, you have the Koleos, so there's lots.
Yeah, really, but if you look at X1, Q3, put those aside, because people looking at an SUV like this, I mean, a soft roader like this, like those two, are looking at 7 seats. I think that's the critical factor. But you're right, when it comes to price point, though not segments, there's really a lot of blurring happening here, because if you look at the prices of these SUVs, cheapest of this lot is the Captiva. It really is great value, and the package now mechanically also feels more well-rounded. So stacked up against its competition, I think it's got a pretty good shot of getting to the #1 spot. But we'll hold on, we haven't done the fuel efficiency test and all that, so we'll do a proper comparison soon.